Welcome back guys to another Joe Cobra video, where today's video is a retro review of Jaws, a 1975 American thriller film directed by Steven Spielberg and is based on Peter Benchley's 1974 novel of the same name. In the film, a man-eating great white shark attacks beachgoers of a fictional summer town resort named Amity Island, prompting Police Chief Martin Brody, Roy Scheider, to hunt it down with the help of a marine biologist, Richard Dreyfuss, and a professional shark hunter played by Robert Shaw. Now for me, Jaws has got to be up there with one of the greatest films ever made. Not only because of its technical achievement for its time, but because of how Steven Spielberg took a far-fetched idea and made it work so well. Jaws has a simple story of a 25-foot great white shark terrorizing the civilians of Amity Island. Eventually, the town's chief of police, played by the late Roy Scheider, a marine biologist, Matt Hooper, played by Richard Dreyfuss, and a shark hunter named Quint, played by the late Robert Shaw. The main character, Sheriff Brody, is played perfectly by Roy Scheider, who is tasked with managing this crisis. However, he is continuously hindered in his efforts by the island's mayor and amongst other locals who are adamant that the rising body count should not put a stop to the summer trade that is the island's lifeblood. But unfortunately, after more shark attacks, Brody then finally calls in marine biologist Matt Hooper, another great performance, this time by Richard Dreyfuss, who helps him convince the ignorant mayor, with the help of the growing number of dead, that there is a real danger to the island in the form of this great white shark. In a bid to end Jaws' reign of terror, they then hire tough-as-nails shark hunter Quint, which is a brilliant character, perfectly portrayed by, in my opinion, the standout star of the film, Robert Shaw. And together, the three of them go off to hunt down the great white shark. What really makes this film work are the three main leads and their perfect chemistry. Brody is a paranoid but well-respected police chief. Richard Dreyfuss is hilarious as the wisecracking marine biologist Hooper, who is always butting heads with the rough and tough fisherman Quint. The three leads really make these characters so believable that you truly feel like you are there with them every step of the way. I must also mention that Brody's loving wife Lorraine Gray and the mayor Murray Hamilton also lend fantastic support in their roles. But it's the three main stars that make for several unforgettable scenes. Like when we first meet Quint and he runs his fingernails down the blackboard, followed by him telling the townspeople how to go about taking down the shark. That scene was just beautifully intense, and I just couldn't take my eyes off the screen. His haunting Indianapolis speech is also another unforgettable one. Another great scene has Brody chucking chum over his shoulder to attract the shark, when out of nowhere Jaws jumps out, almost taking Brody's arm off, followed by him famously telling Quint that we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
Now I'm sure that scene had cinema goers back then jumping out of their seats. But probably the most famous scene of all is where Jaws jumps onto the boat and poor old Quint is trapped and slides into the shark's mouth. And I'm telling you guys, this scene still gives me nightmares today. A more light-hearted scene is where all three get drunk and talk about their various scars, then sing "Show Me the Way to Go Home," a song I myself still sing to this day when I'm drunk.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and I got it right to my head.
And finally, the horrifying scene where Hooper goes underwater to administer the lethal injection inside that shark-proof cage. There are just so many unforgettable moments, and every character gets their own time to shine. Jaws is just one of my favourite films of all time, and it's one of those films that everyone needs to watch at some point. The film was also very famously known for having many technical difficulties, especially with its animatronic shark, which they named Bruce. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Under tight budget restraints and enormous pressure from the studio, Spielberg had no choice but to keep going, while his crew famously worked their asses off trying to make the shark work in the cold and choppy North Atlantic seawater. To make up for the absence of Bruce, cleverly, Spielberg used shots from the shark's point of view along with John Williams' famous theme to create the illusion of the shark's presence in the early scenes. Because of this, Spielberg managed to create tension and fear among the audience because you never really see the shark, leaving your imagination to do all the work for you. Fortunately, the crew was obviously finally able to get Bruce working properly just in time to film the unforgettable final scenes. And what can I say about the film's legendary soundtrack? Well, while looking up certain facts for the film, I read that Steven Spielberg once said, and I quote, that the music of John Williams is half of the movie, and it really easily ranks as one of the most memorable and effective film scores of all time. And I'm pretty sure no one's going to argue with that. John Williams famously went on to make countless more unforgettable scores for huge movies like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, the list just goes on. He is, for me, without a doubt, one of the finest composers of our time. Jaws went on to then have 3 more sequels, none of which came close to the first film, and the original still stands tall against the films of today. The film's budget was $7 million, a huge film budget for its time, but it went on to make a staggering $471 million plus worldwide. This film really should have cleaned up at the Oscars back in 1976. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is for me a fantastic film, and I really adore Jack Nicholson, but for me Jaws was the better film and way more influential. For me, Steven Spielberg pulled a rabbit out of a hat with Jaws. How he managed to eventually pull this movie off under massive pressure and so many setbacks was truly amazing and is a testament to how great of a director he is. Huge credit must also go to the writers for providing the film's brilliant story and sharp dialogue. Jaws is definitely one of those timeless films and one that should not be missed. If somehow you have not seen Jaws, then really guys, you should go out and watch it. And for everyone else, let me know in the comments below what was your favourite scene and thoughts of the film. And don't forget to support my channel guys by subscribing, giving the video a big thumbs up and by hitting the bell button so you never miss our latest video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all on the next Joe Cobra video. Bye bye and God bless.